Hey everybody, in this video we are going to be making a calendar in vanilla JavaScript. We're going to be doing it without any front-end framework, without jQuery, and without any other libraries or packages, okay? So we're going to get started right away just because this is going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to be very pretty, but it should be pretty functional. It should be fairly functional, all right? And we'll kind of see what it looks like at the end of the video. I haven't built this yet, so I just kind of was thinking about how I wanted to do it last night. So I'm going to wing this and see how it goes. All right, so what we're going to do is inside any editor or Visual Studio Code, you're just going to create a new folder. And I'm just going to call it cal. You can name it whatever you'd like. And inside this cal folder, I'm going to make three files. cal.js, cal.css, and lastly, cal.html. Okay, and inside my HTML, I'm just going to use the Emmet abbreviation, the exclamation point, to set up a basic doc type so that I can, type some HTML in here. I'm going to set up my script, which is going to be cal.js. And I'm also going to set up my CSS file by using a link. The style sheet will be the rel will be a style sheet. Rel stands for relationship, and the href is just what you're linking in, and we're going to be linking in our CSS file. All right, so real quick, I want to put some HTML and CSS in this project. It's not going to be very pretty, but it'll be presentable, sort of. Okay, so inside of cal.html, we're going to create a div, and I'm going to give this an ID of, we'll call it cal container. Okay, and inside of cal container, we're going to want another div. I'm just like imagining how a calendar would be. Obviously you have like a container, and then at the top over here, and I'm just like, over like to the left side, we're going to have the month, and to the right side, we're going to have the year. And then basically the days will display underneath. So that's kind of what I'm building in my head right now. And I'm going to try to put this into HTML. So we're going to give this an ID of cal header, and inside of the div we're going to put a p tag, and this is going to have an ID of month, and below this we'll have another p tag, and this is going to have an ID of year. Okay, we're not going to put any text in here. We'll actually do that with JavaScript. Okay, we're really not going to this is going to be a very bland HTML and CSS combination here. Okay, so below these we're going to have another div, and we're going to have an ID of days container, and let's see. All right, and then this is kind of how I was thinking about doing it last night. This is going to be a little bit hacky, but I actually think this is a pretty good way to do it. So I'm going to copy this div, and then I'm actually going to create 7 divs, and these 7 divs are going to be for all 7 days in a week. Okay, so that's 6, and one more, that's 7. Okay, now each one of these I'm just going to give a class of day column, and let's see. Well, what else do we want to do? I think that's actually good right now. That pretty much actually is going to be all of our HTML, I think. I'm probably wrong about that. Like I said, I'm kind of winging this, so I have no idea how this is going to turn out. But I just built like a scheduling app, and when I was building the scheduling app, I kind of like thought like, oh, I could build a calendar doing this. So, but I didn't. Okay, anyway, sorry, didn't mean to get off topic. Okay, so in our CSS, let's take a look. We have cal container. So cal container, what do we want to do for that? Well, we're going to give it a width of 300 pixels, a height of 300 pixels. We're going to give it a border of 1 pixel, solid black. Let's see. Let's just give it a margin of 300 pixels, just to kind of shoot it to the middle. I know it's kind of ugly, but I just want to keep our CSS and HTML to a minimum, because this video is more about JavaScript and just kind of how you can create elements and, kind of make changes with the DOM in JavaScript. Okay. Now let's see. What do we want to do? Cal header. So for cal header, we're going to, okay, we're actually going to have to edit this a little bit. So I want to create a div, and I'm actually going to wrap a div around both of these. Okay, sorry. No, that's not what I want to do. There we go. And then div, come on. And we're going to select that, bring it down. And nope, there we go. All right, so the reason I did that is because we're going to need something that we can put in next to the month and the year. So like, it's basically going to be like a minus or plus symbol or something like that. Or maybe we'll use a less than or greater than. So I'll use like a less than sign. And then over here, I'll use a greater than sign. And if you're like really confused right now, don't worry, you'll see in a second, I promise. So I, and if you don't know what the I is in HTML, it's basically the same thing as a span, or pretty much, just like a little icon. I use it for all my icons. All right, and then in each one of these, we actually could just give our P's a display of inline, and in our cal header, we're going to give a display of flex. So let's see. That, oh, well, I haven't even copied the path yet. Okay, so let's copy the path, paste. What do we got? There we go. Okay, that's, first of all, it's not terrible, but it's a little low. So let's fix that margin. So the margin, we'll set it to 150, 300. All right, cool. Now, these are basically, we're going to be able to click on them and they will give us the, so for I'm just going to increase the font size a little bit, just so it's a little bit bigger. We'll say like 18 pixels. If my keyboard wants to work. There we go. I guess the 8 key on my keyboard is struggling a little bit. Now, what do we want to do? Okay, that's good. Now, for each of these divs, we're going to give this a class of, you know, I don't need to do anything because I did the P is display of inline. Oh, that's what I want to do. Sorry. I want to do justify content space around. And I believe this by default will good. That's exactly what we wanted. And then even better, we'll just give it a little bit of margin on the top. Margin top. Maybe 10 pixels is good. Let's see. All right, that's great. Okay, so that's pretty much the basic setup for now. So I'm going to cancel out of my CSS. I'm going to bring my JavaScript file over to the right. It's just a personal preference. I just like to have my JavaScript file on the right. I think it's because I read from left to right, so I like to read on the left and then work on the right. I don't know though. All right, so let's talk about our objectives. So our objectives are, the first thing we want to do is, I'll just write objectives. So the first thing we want to do is get the number of days in a month. And that's actually a little bit tricky, but we can use the date. So the new date. So date is a JavaScript constructor function. Right? If you don't know what a constructor function is, it's basically well, that's kind of, we might veer off topic a little bit here. Basically, we can use the new keyword on a JavaScript constructor function, and it will give us access to properties inside of it. It'll basically create a new instance of this date and give us the access to the properties inside of it. Okay, so I don't really want to talk about the new keyword in the JavaScript constructor function too much because that's a whole long video in itself. And I have a feeling this calendar is going to take a little bit of time. So I want to keep moving on with the calendar. So for the first objective, let's just try to get the number of days. So let's create a function and let's call it get number of days. We're going to take in the month. We'll do the year first. Let's see. How are we going to do this? Okay, we're going to take in the year, then the month. Do we need anything else? No, I don't think so. Okay, now, I don't know. I don't really want to look things up but I'm almost sure that the way you get the days of the month is you do new date, and then it's year, month, 0. So 0, so basically inside of this date constructor function here, you can actually put in different parameters and then add a method to it. And I think it's get date. Gets the day of the month. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. I guess we'll see if it's not, right? And we're going to just say let days of month. Or we could say num days. That's even better. I like to try to make my variables the best names possible. Goes get date. Okay. Now this year and month, where obviously these are parameters, so we're going to get these from somewhere else. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to return num days. And that's going to be it for this get number of days. Now real quick, let's just test to make sure this works. So let's just above this, let's say let year equals new date dot get full year, which is going to return 2019. In a couple days it won't. It would return 2020. But oh right, you guys can't see the bottom down here. But oh yeah, if I go like that, you can see it's Monday, December 30th. Okay, so get full year is going to return 2019. And let's see, for month, we want to do new date dot get month, like that. Okay, pretty good. So let's see what we get right now. And we're going to come back to this in a second. But basically what this did, it gave us the year in a number. So this is going to give us 2019. And this right here is going to be a little bit confusing, but this is actually going to return 11. Okay. And if you're wondering why that returns 11, it's because there are 12 months in the year, but basically the way that JavaScript works is that the months they start at 0 and they go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So there's actually 12 there. All right. And it's kind of annoying that it does it that way because you know January is 1, February is 2, March is 3. But for now, we can edit this a little bit if we want and just add 1 to them. But for now, we're just going to try to keep in mind that 11 is actually December. So I'll show you that if I console.log month. All right, and I'll save that. And let's just come back into the browser. And you'll see it's 11. Okay. All right, but now what we want to do, let's get rid of that. Now what we want to do is we want to get the number of days. And I'm actually going to console.log this just so we can look at it because I'm not 100% sure that's right. Console.log the number of days, and we're going to type just year and month. All right, now if you're confused where this, because let's just change. So basically this year is what's down here. And this month is what's down here. So let's actually change these variables to year chosen and month chosen. Just because if you're a beginner and you see this year and this month, all right, and you see this parameter, and then these once again are parameters, okay? And you'll see if you hover over it, they are parameters. Down here, these are actually the variables that we made up here, okay? So let's see what we get. We should get a number. No, I just clicked my mail. That's incredibly embarrassing. All right, there we go. And let's refresh, and I get NaN. Okay, that means I made a mistake somewhere. Num days. Let's see. Get full year, year, month. What is wrong? All right, let's check everything. Console.log year. Month. Why is that happening? Year, month. Why is it giving me an ID? Oh, duh. Because sorry, that sounds incredibly embarrassing. I changed it up here. There we go. All right, good. So that's good. We're getting, okay, so we're getting 30, and that's not what we want. And that is because in here, I guess they want 12. So if we put 12 in here, we're going to get 31. Great. Okay, and let me just make sure that if we put 2 in here, we get 28. Okay, so unfortunately, when we console.log, and this is really confusing, but I'm going to do my best to explain this. All right. Now, if I refresh, okay, we have too many console.logs, so let me comment them out. But basically, if I console.log this month chosen and I refresh it, it's going to give us 11. However, in here, it wants the actual number. It wants, so December, they want December to be 12. They don't want December to be, they don't want December to be 11 anymore, which is incredibly frustrating to me. But basically what we have to do is just set month to +1, and that should be fine for now. Okay. Now, next, what we're going to do is, well, actually, let's just check and make sure that works flawlessly. And the best way to check and make sure it works is to just hard code the years and to use February, because February, you know, has 28 and 29 days. So let's say for here, let's do 2020 and then month +1, and then we'll actually change this to oh no, we don't need to do that, sorry. Let's come down here. And what we're going to do, get rid of that console.log, and we'll console.log here, and we'll do 2020, and since next year is a leap year, we should get 29. If that works, then I know that, and we get 31. Oh, because now it's +1, of course. So now if we go like this, we get 29, that's what we want, but since we're going to be doing +1, basically it would be 1 now. Because 1 would be 1 + 1, right? It's going to give us 29. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit confusing, but I'll remind you guys of that. That way we don't get tripped up there. So that function works. It took a little bit of setting up, but all right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to come down here and we're going to create a new function, and we're just going to call it render cal. Okay. And this render cal is going to be pretty much the meat of everything that we're doing here. And let's get started with it. So basically, what we're going to do is, and we're going to have to, you know, keep adding stuff to this, but the first thing I want to do is have a for loop. And actually, we'll skip that real quick. So we'll do oh no, you know what? Sorry, I'm kind of thinking about how I want to do this. So we'll say let year equals, and now we're creating a year variable, and or we'll even say year p tag, because those are p tags, and that actually will be easiest to read. So we'll do document.getElementById, and we will do year, and then we'll say year p tag dot inner text is going to be equal to year chosen. Okay, and then we're going to do the same exact thing here. We're going to do let, and that's fine. I can leave this all in the function. The more variables that I create in this function, the safer I am of avoiding collisions. So we'll keep it there. All right. So if I need to change anything, I will. So we're going to say let month p tag equals document.getElementById month. Now, unfortunately, we want the actual spelling of the month. We don't want just a number. So what we're going to do up here is we're going to create an array called months. And in this array, we're going to have 12 items, and you can probably guess what they're going to be. February, is it I think it's February. That's embarrassing. I have no idea. March. You guys are probably about to turn off this video like this ding dong doesn't even know how to spell February. May, June, July, August, September, October, and we actually have to make sure we get all 12, because if we don't, that'll actually create a massive issue for us. So yeah, it looks like we got all 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, good. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to say that month p tag is document. Okay, that's good. And what we're going to do is we're going to say month p tag dot inner text equals, you know what, let's do this out. No, we'll do it in here. We'll do it in here. We'll say, we'll create one more variable and we'll create it on top of here. So we'll say let month to display. Okay, that's fine. That's not the greatest variable name, but it's not bad. Month, we'll call it month name. That's good. So month name is going to be equal to month chosen. Excuse me, it's not. It's going to be months, and then in here, month chosen. All right, now what we're doing here is we have months 0 through 11, right? Because January starts at 0. So this is actually going to work because our month chosen for December is going to return us 11. Okay, so if we set the month p tag to month name right away, and if you don't know what we did down here, basically we use document.getElementById, which is a way to access items on the HTML DOM, and which we have inside of our browser here and access to. And we're accessing basically this year and this month, and that's why we gave those IDs. We left the text blank because I knew we were going to insert it in here anyway. All right, so I'm going to refresh, and we get nothing, and of course we get nothing because render cal is completely not even being called. Okay, good. So that's a good start. All right, that's a good start. Let's see. All right, so we're probably going to have to fix that up a little bit and add some parameters. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll come back to that in a minute. I know the one parameter that we're going to need to add is this get number of days function. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're just going to say get num days. Okay, and that's going to be this function up here that we're going to have to insert in there. This might not be, your favorite way to do this. I just thought it was a clean way to do it. It's going to be pretty, we're going to use just a couple functions, and this function right here is basically going to be our main function. Okay, and this function is going to return have this function as a parameter, and you'll kind of see where I'm going with this. All right, now for month p tag. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a for loop, and we're going to say for let I equals 0, I is less than. It's actually going to be less than the number of days. So it's going to be get num days, because it's basically just going to be whatever this function returns. So whatever num days is, which is equal to the new date, so basically however many days of the month, we want to loop through these, and basically we're going to create a p tag in here, and then we're just going to do I++. All right, now next we want to, let's see what we're going to do. We're going to create a p tag. So let's say let day p tag. You don't have to create those if you want. It's kind of an ugly name, but I just want to be I just wanted to make sure we know exactly what's going on there. So document.create element. We're going to create a p tag. All right, so we're going to create a p tag depending on how many days are in here. All right, and then we're going to say let, let's see, let day, or no, let's say let day text equals document dot create text node, I believe it is. Yeah, there we go. And we're just going to use I.toString. Okay, so basically the day inside of this p tag is going to be, and you'll see we're going to do that right now. So this is something, you create this text node by using document.createTextNode, and you can insert the text in here, and then you can actually append this text node right into an HTML element, which is what we're going to do. So we're going to say, actually, let's hold off on that just a second. I just want to make sure this is going to be a good size. So day p tag dot style. Now you can access Well, because we can't give the p tags over here, we can't give them any CSS IDs or classes because they don't exist right now in the HTML file if you look. So there are the workarounds for that, but we're going to keep it really simple. And we're going to say day p tag dot style. And basically this just lets you access the styles of this element, and it lets you style it on your own. Or not, I mean, you always style it on your own, but it lets you style it inside of JavaScript. So we're going to say dot style, and then we're just going to say font size, and we'll set it equal to 16 pixels. That might be a little big, but no, we'll set it to 20. If it's too big, we'll go down. Okay, and we'll append this day text. This really doesn't matter where you put that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take day p tag dot append, and we're basically just going to append a child, and we're going to append the day text. Okay, that's good. And all right, that's good. Okay, so now we have a p tag with each one of these. All right, so this is where it's going to get a little tricky because we want the we have 7 day columns here. Oh, what we actually have to do is we have to give each one of these an ID. So I'm going to give this one an ID of 0, an ID of 1, and this is almost a little bit hacky what I'm doing, but I think it should work the way I want it to. 3, 4, 5. Ooh, 5 and 6. So basically, oh, what the? Here we go. There we go. Good. All right. So basically, now each one of these has an ID. All right. So so here's what we're gonna do. This is gonna be a little funky and it's gonna look a little ugly, but we're just using regular JavaScript right now. We're not even really using any ES6. Actually, the only ES6 really we've used is the let keyword. That's just a habit, sorry. I don't think I could ever type a var. And I'm not one of those people who's like, never use var, but I can't remember the last time I actually typed a var. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to say let date equals, and by date, what I'm trying to get here is I'm trying to actually get the full date, like something like this. So I'll just write in a comment. So trying to get basically like December 30th, or we don't need that comment there, December 30, 2019. And if we do that, we can actually insert this into the get, I think it's the get day. I'm almost sure it's get day. And let me just show you. I'm almost sure get day will give us the day of the week. And then we can use that day because it's always going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And we can use that get day to append it to whichever one the day of the week is. Probably sounds really crazy, but this is how I think is actually one of the simpler ways to make it really efficient, hopefully. Let's see. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to say a day equals, and you know what? I kind of wish I had my variables down here now because they're all the way up there. That's a bummer. All right, so year chosen and month chosen. Oh no, we actually want month name. So we want month name. So date equals month name plus a space plus let's see. Oh, just plus I, because we'll do I to string. Not that you really need it to. This would convert it on its own because you're doing an actual string of characters plus a number. But just so nothing gets out of hand. Actually, it's just probably safe to do this because we're gonna have another number at the end. But we have to add a comma here anyway, so we don't need it, but we don't need to do the toString, but I recommend it just in case. We're gonna add a comma, and then we're just gonna do, what do we do? Year chosen. So real quick, let's just console.log date just to make sure we're getting what I want. And if we return back, we should see like we see nothing. That's a bummer. get num. Oh, you know why? Because get num days, we're not calling it down here. So get num days is a parameter, but we're not actually. So what we need to do is actually call get number of days, and then year, and then month. So year chosen, month chosen are our variable names. So year chosen and month. Oh, not toString. Computer's got a mind of its own sometimes. And there we go. Okay, so hopefully that works. And beautiful. And yep. Oh, what the heck? Oh, you know what? Okay. So this isn't terrible news. I thought if something was broken because it went to 30, but our for loop is actually just kind of trash. We want, that's hilarious that I put the equal sign on the other side of here. That looks really funny. All right, there we go. So we want less than or equal to because we want it to go up to 31. We don't want it to stop at 30. And so you'll see that if we come back here, it's actually stopping at 30 because the loop's not going to run when it gets to 31 because we said only if it's less than 31. So we want less than or equal to. And the other problem we have is December 0 is not a date. So now we actually want to change this to 1. And let's refresh. Beautiful. Let's see. We have 31 at the bottom and we have 1 at the top. Great. All right. So probably a little bit confusing why I changed the for loop. Well, maybe not. So basically, we don't want December 0 and this for loop. Basically, we're getting the day just from the loop. So I is less than or equal to num days. Okay. And yeah, the I was starting at 0, so it was giving us December 0, and that is bad. Okay, and less than or equal to was because it was conking out at 30, and we wanted to go to 31. Okay, cool. So if you want to take a break, take a break. If not, well, I'll keep on going. It's actually a little bit longer project than I thought it was going to be, or maybe I just blabber way too much. Okay, so actually wait to take a break because this next part is going to be a little complicated, and then take a break. So we're going to say let day of week equals, we don't have that name right, good. Okay, good. Let day of week equals, and this is going to be equal to new date. Is that what it's going to be equal to? Yeah, so it's going to be equal to new date, I think. And then I think you just put the date text in there. So date, and then we're going to say dot get day. I have no idea if this is going to work. But get UTC day. No, I just want get day. There we go. What are you doing at the top there, buddy? All right, so let's check. Let's get rid of this right here. And let's just see. So ideally, it would be like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have nothing. Why do we have nothing? Oh, because I didn't do anything. I didn't console.log it. Day of week. And if I'm moving too fast, I apologize. And perfect. That's what we wanted. All right. So far, so good. It's just because this video is going on for 33 minutes at this point, and that's kind of like the time I wanted to finish this in, so I'm trying to rush. All right. So that's good. And now that's why, since I imagined that we were going to get this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I was like, okay, let's just give these different columns an ID of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically, if the day falls on a Sunday, then it's just going to add it. We're just going to append it as a child, the p tag, the day p tag, into that column. And once we do that, we should actually see a calendar that looks something like a calendar. Probably not really, but something like it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to say document, we just do need to do day of week dot append child. I literally just got I got thrown off there. Okay, that's really embarrassing. All right, let's get back to the good stuff here. Document dot get element by ID, and then what we're going to get the ID by is the day of a week. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to append the child of because the day of the week is just a number. And let's actually do day of week dot toString. Sorry, I'm wearing down a little bit here, so I feel like I'm getting nervous that I'm going to start making some mistakes because I'm wearing down. 35 minutes is a long time to talk. Let day of week, good. This is good. Append child, and then we're just going to append this, no, not year p tag, day p tag, which is all the way up here, which is a p tag that has our text, but basically it has the number appended to it. All right, so let's check if that worked. It actually did. Now, we don't have any days of the month, which is incredibly embarrassing, so let's get those. So we need sun, p mon, p2, let's keep it like that, p wed. This is probably really boring, but it's nice for me to have a little break. Did I? Oh no, we're good. For a second, I thought I only created. So we're gonna do Friday. I couldn't remember what day came next. That's how you know I'm getting tired. Saturday, good. All right, so if we go back now. Oh no, that's not what we want. Why is that like that? So day column is not supposed to be flex. So I guess it's for some reason. So let's do, oh, because P's are display inline. Oh, that's gross. I shouldn't have done that. That's really bad. All right, so let's okay. I was like, what on earth is going on right now? So, you know, that was a little bit of a mistake for me. Now let's just give these two P's. That's an okay mistake. I'm not mad at myself for that one. So let's give these two P's a class. A class of month, year. And we're just going to make that class. You can do this like 100 different ways, but I just want to keep it really simple. Class equals month, year. All right, so, and we can just change month, year to display inline. So that kind of shows you that you really don't want to do this kind of stuff ever. I mean, you can. It's up to you. All right, and that is better, pretty good. Now, it probably looks really nasty, but that's actually kind of what we want. Next, what we want to do is, once again, in our CSS, I'm going to cancel out of my file explorer here. I don't need that. We want days container to have a display flex. So days container display flex. Check what we got. Perfect. And then we're going to do justify content space around. Boom. All right. Looks good, right? I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's kind of ugly. It's like really basic, and it doesn't work. If we click anything, it's just, but it actually is structured pretty well. Okay, good. So next, okay, that's pretty much the ugly part of it. Now, the next part of it is going to be when we click on these buttons, we want to get the next month or the next year, like, so we'd add a month on. So basically this would become January and this would become 2020. All right, so let's do that now. So let's go back into our editor. And what we're going to do is we're going to create, let's see. All right, so we're going to create two functions. So we're going to create a function and we're going to call it change month. And is that going to take anything in? Yeah, it's going to take something in because it's going to be an on-click method over here. So it's going to take in add minus. So basically whatever that parameter is, it'll change it'll do a minus or plus. So let's just set that up now. So inside of these i's, we're going to have, so inside of all of them, we're going to have an on click, and it's going to be equal to change, and we'll do the top ones are going to be month, and the bottom one, oh no, that's not going to work. No. Come on, go back. Why would you do that? Okay, we'll try this again. Change month. And then here we just want to change this to change year. All right, and oh, we also want the little parentheses, of course. Okay, and then this one is going to be minus, or you could say subtract, but I'll just say add. So when we click on the right one, we're going to add a month. When we click on the left one, we're going to take a month away, basically. And then we'll say minus again, then add. Now notice these are two different functions, so change year and change month. They're going to look awfully similar though. So we'll create function, not funcaton, function change year, and we'll also do add minus. All right, so we're going to check if add minus equals minus. So if equals minus, then we're going to take, what was it, month chosen? Yep. We're going to take month chosen and set it equal to minus equal to 1. So basically we're going to take 1 away from month chosen. However, we're only going to do that if month chosen does not equal 0, because we don't want it to equal -1, right? That would be bad. So if we did this right here and month chosen was -1, that would be a disaster. Or yeah, so if it was 0 and then we subtracted 1 and we got -1, well, that would definitely be an error, because month chosen, remember, is going to return one of these, and -1 would not be what we're looking for there. Okay. You know, actually could, no, I'm not going to go down that path. I guess it actually, no, I'm not even going to go down that path, but I guess -1 sometimes in some programming languages wouldn't be the worst thing there, because -1 goes to the end, but just ignore me. Let's keep it really simple here. So what we're going to do is if month chosen is not equal to 0, then month chosen, so it actually we just want this down here. And we'll bring that up, and then we'll say else month chosen equals 11. So hopefully that makes sense. So what we're doing there is basically we are making it so that month chosen will take 1 away, but if month chosen is January, then we want to send it back to December, and we'll just set it back to December by 11. Okay, now let's see. That's good. Now what we actually want to do is we're going to call the render cal function every time we hit this button, so that basically we can remake our calendar. Okay, so render cal, we're going to take in, we need to take in get num of days. So we'll say get number of days. Then we'll just take in month chosen, year chosen. Good. And then what we actually want to do in here, inside render cal, is we're going to take in a new year and a new month. That way, we'll say if there's a new month and a new year, then we'll set those equal to the month and the year. So it probably seems a little confusing. I'll show you that in 1 second. And we're actually going to call this everywhere. And then if it doesn't equal minus else, then what we're going to do is we're going to say if month chosen does not equal 11, then month chosen plus equals 1. So basically each time if it's add, so basically it's just not minus, so it's going to be add. So when it's add, we're just going to add 1 to the month. Okay, so month chosen plus equals 1, and then we're going to want to call that function again, and that's good for now. But remember, now we need to take in the new year and the new month. Okay, so all right, we're going to get there in just a second, because we don't have those. All right, you know what? I'll put them in now. So the new year and the new month are just going to be, it's just going to be year chosen and the month chosen for all of them. I'm going to move this HTML file over. I don't even know. Oh, not a breakpoint. I don't even know if we're going to need this. Month chosen. Year chosen, month chosen. And same thing down here. Yeah, it gets a little redundant, but I'm trying to keep it simple. It probably doesn't seem simple, but in terms of kind of isolating all of our functionality into kind of like a render function that basically is just going to spit out the dates that we need, that's kind of what I was hoping for. All right, so that's good. Now the last one, or we need two more actually. No, just last one, sorry. So else, so if it is equal to 11, then we want to do month chosen is equal to 0. And then once again, we'll call the render cal, and we'll just say year chosen, month chosen. Okay. Cool. And down here, I'm actually going to do the same thing. I'm going to say year chosen and month chosen. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to come up here, and for new year and new month, what we're actually going to do is we're just going to say, let's see. So year p tag, we're just going to change the inner text from year chosen to new year, and year chosen will change from down here, we'll change to new year. Now whenever we hit those buttons, this will also update, and that's exactly what we want. And new month, so instead of month chosen, it's going to be new month. So if you're confused on how this is still going to work, it's because when we first render the calendar, so when we first display the calendar, and saying year chosen, oh, here we go. So when we first display the calendar down here, we're just going to be using the dates that we already set. All right, and year chosen and month chosen are the starter variables that we use up here. And these can be changed as the buttons get clicked. So you'll see in a second, it should work in just a second. We just need to do basically everything we just did right here. So we're going to copy this whole thing again. And we honestly could have used the same function, but we would just had to do a ton of if statements and it would just gotten ugly. So I'm okay with this. And basically everywhere where it says month, well, not everywhere, but for these, for this, oh no, that's actually not going to work. Sorry, I was trying to really jump ahead, but because month year works a little bit different, so we don't actually need to do any of this. So we can just say year chosen minus equals 1. And then here, we could just say year chosen plus equals 1. And then we just need to get this function again and paste it into each one. Because we don't have the issue with the month that we do with the year. The year, we just want to add it, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so I'd say there's a 50% chance this works. So I'm going to save it. Let's click it. And we're not getting anything. Okay, that's disappointing. Render cal. Oh, you know what? I might need to save my HTML file. Let's go back, refresh. Okay. Not bad. Not exactly what we wanted, but not bad. Pretty good, actually. Okay, so we can change the year, and we're just adding the days onto the bottom, though. So that's not good. So here's what we want to do now. We're going to get a little hacky here, but... oh, shoot. So we need to remove all of these children from the days container. You know what? No, I don't think... Let's see. So let's go back to our... Alright, so... okay, so what we want to do is we're going to say document dot get element by ID days container dot inner HTML is equal to empty parentheses. Now this is really hacky, but what this is going to do is delete everything. Oh, you know what? So that won't work. Sorry. I apologize. Just ignore everything I just said. We're actually going to do document dot get elements by class name. And that's fine. Alright, so we'll do that. Just to do something a little different, we'll use get elements by class name, and we're going to get day column. Because if I remove all the HTML inside of days container, all these divs will be gone, and we want these divs to stay. So day column, and then we'll say, oh, we want to set this to let day columns equal to, and then we're going to say for. So we're going to use a for loop to loop over this day column. So for let I equals 0, I is less than, well, I know it's going to be, I know it just needs to be less than 7. So as long as it's less than 7, because I know there's, so we could just do day columns.length, same thing. I don't know why I was trying to cheat there. That's how you know this video has gone on too long. I'm getting tired. I++, and you know what? We don't want 2 different i's. Let's say other index. Other index, just so we have no confusion and nothing bad going on there. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say day columns I dot inner HTML equals like that. That should be good. Now let's see what we get. Oh, you know what? We don't have I. We want other index. I apologize. I'm going to make that mistake 100 times. So let's go back and check. Press refresh. Okay, it looks good. Not bad. Alright, so we have an issue here. I noticed that earlier that January is, we have 2 issues. One, it seems like every month has 30 days. And the other issue is that it seems like January, you can't minus months from January. So let's go back here and check this out. Okay, so the minus month isn't working. That's up here, sorry. So minus month, minus, it's only on January, so it'd be if month is, okay, so here you go. Here's the issue right here. So month chosen, it should just be 1 equal sign. That's embarrassing. That's a terrible mistake. All right, so if I go back and refresh, now that should work. Okay, now the other thing is, why is everyone 30 days? Okay, so let's check that out. So that's an issue with get number of days. So let's check get number of days. Okay, it's a really simple function. So we just take in the year, we take in the month. Yep, and that seems to be the issue. So what's happening here is I have mixed up month and year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just basically get rid of that, and then we'll come here, and I'm just going to control D all the way down. Oh, I guess I didn't go down far enough. Fair enough. Oh, I didn't control D down at all. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to delete all those, and then I'm going to come back here, and then I'm just going to type in month chosen. So I had the function works fine. I just had the parameters in wrong. I need the year first and then the month, and I did not have those. So let's refresh. All right, so now we get 31. We should get 31 again, then 29. What the heck? 23? What's that all about? April. Everyone's working. If we go to February, and so in February for 2020 we get, oh, you know why? Because I know where it is. We get 23, yeah, because 24, 25, 26, and 28 are over here. Okay, that's good. Now, a couple things that I want to touch on real quick. Inner HTML basically is all the HTML elements inside of an element, right? So when we set it equal to 0, basically we're just removing all the children elements in there. All right, so that was like kind of a quick hacky way to do it. A couple other things. Right here, we're actually getting the right number of days in the month. We weren't getting the right number of days before because I had the parameter switched, and we also fixed the month. So sorry for a couple errors, but like I said, project got a little bit more complicated than I thought it would. Okay, so the last issue we have is that, and that's really it looks like, is that we have these like 6 and 7 are starting early, so we need like blank spaces here. So I have an idea on what to do here, but this is actually one of the trickier. So we're going to make one more for loop. And yeah, we're going to make it here. So we're going to say for let, we'll say another index. I know, you guys are probably like, what? And then what we want to do is we actually want to get the first day of the month. And by doing that, we're going to do it exactly how we did it down here. So we actually want to say let first day equals, and then we'll say new month plus 1, comma, because we know the first day of the month is going to be a 1. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So first day month is going to be new month. We know it's going to be a 1, so we just need to get the month name just like we did here, but we don't even have to use I. We just are going to use 1. And then we're just going to do plus new year. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say let first day of month equal new date first day dot get day. So just basically the same exact thing we did here to get what day of the week it was. Once again, we're getting what day of the week it is, and what day of the week is on the first day of the month. Probably sounds crazy, but I think it should work. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one last for loop, and we actually already have it, right? So another index, and another index is going to be less than first day of month, and then another index plus plus. Okay. So this should be pretty much it. All we're going to do is we're going to do kind of what we did down here and create p tags and insert them just until we're going to start at 0 and just until we get to the first day of the month. So we're going to insert those p tags. So let's do that. So let's say let's say let blank p tag equals document dot create element p, let blank text equals document dot create text node. We'll just put something blank. We'll put a blank space in there, and then we'll say let okay. So then we want to do blank p tag dot append child blank text. All right, and we're going to have to come back to that in a second, I think, because I don't think it'll show up, but it might. And then the last thing we want to do is we want to say document dot get element by d another index dot string, because this is only going to work. Yeah, this will never get over 7 because the first day of the week should always be within 7. So another index dot string dot, and we'll just say let day column, whoa, and that's good. So day column, so that's getting the first, so that's going to get the day column right here. So it's going to get, yeah, and then we're going to say day column, not day columns. Do we have, we have, got to be careful, we have some naming collisions there. Alright, that's fine. It should be okay. Day column dot append child, and we want to append onto this the blank p tag. So, yeah. All right, so let's check it. See if that worked. And it did not. Okay. Let's see why. So let's console.log another index. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it shouldn't run at all at first because December has... Oh, you know what the issue is? Is that when you are getting this month. So right here, we want to do new month plus 1. Because, like I said, they're looking for, or not, new month, one new month. Oh, okay. So that's, we want month name. Yeah, I think that's where I messed up. Yeah, that's what it is. That is where I messed up. So let's refresh that now. Let's see if that works. It's 31. All right, so on December, so January, right, so we get 0, 1. That works. So we're getting exactly 1. When we come back, we get nothing. That's good. So that's good. So I think the problem is that these blank p tags, they need to have like some margin or some padding. Actually, some padding would work. So style, I'm hoping that'll be it. And then that'll pretty much be our whole calendar. 12 pixels. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Nice. So that was the issue there. So it's a little bit, it needs to be a little bit more. Change to 14. Good. And it works perfectly now. So basically we just inserted the number of empty p tags that we needed all the way up. So month name, we got the month name fixed. That was my bad. I've had a lot of my bads this video. This was tougher than I thought it was going to be. You can tell I haven't built this before. And another index. Okay, so basically we just took another index. We got the first day of the month and then we just ran it up to there. So we know that the first day of the month will always be less than, well, 6 or less than 6. So basically we just create these blank nodes and we just plant them in. It's a little bit advanced, honestly. Well, not advanced, but it's just like a little bit of a, I don't know. If you've never done it before, it's probably a little bit to think about. So that's good. That's good. Now, let's just check. Make sure. Yeah, so, yeah. And let's just kind of scroll around a little bit. And it looks like that everything is working pretty much how you'd expect it to. It looks like the days are all in the right spot. And when we change the month, oh, you know what? That's definitely an issue right there. So when you change the month, this year is supposed to change. So let's go check what's going on here. That's down here. So we want it year plus equals 1. That's right. And then we want year minus equals 1. So that looks good. Oh, because it's supposed to be year chosen, Mike. It's not supposed to be year. Sorry about that. It's a stupid mistake. So let's go back and refresh this and see if that works. So now, yep, when we go from December to January, it should change the year. When we go from January to December, it should change it back to 2018. So let's go check that out real quick. And it does. Cool. Okay, so it looks like that we have a pretty good calendar here. I don't really see anything else wrong. Oh, well, geez. All right, we lost our days. We lost our days of the week. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they were here. So they're right here. Oh, you know why? Because I removed them from the HTML when I did inner HTML equals blank. And that's why you got to be really, really careful when you use .inner HTML. Okay, so that's actually, this fix is going to be kind of annoying, but we're going to have to delete all of these, which I'm sure you're thrilled about. And I'm actually going to, so I'm going to create another div, and I'm going to paste them in. So you can actually copy and paste things. I don't know what my editor's doing with that paste right there. It's kind of ugly, but it's better than typing them all again. So we're actually going to move them in a div outside of this date column div, because we still have to set that date column div back to empty. Okay, so I'm going to save that, and I'm going to give this a display of flex, and then justify, nope, not like that. And then, oh, sorry, style, right? Style, display, flex, and then justify content space around. That should be decent. Let's check what we got. Oh, that's not decent. Okay, well, the first thing we need to do is go back to our CSS file then. So here we'll go to our CSS file. And days container, we can actually just get rid of all of that because we're not editing that anymore. Okay, so that's good. Now we just need to fix these. And for that, we will just create another div that will wrap around the date columns. And it'll also be display flex justify content space around. And you could create a class for that if you want, but I'm ready to be done. So we're just going to copy and paste this. And I'm going to put this down. Where'd you go, buddy? Oh, you're right here. All right, so let's see if that works now. All right, that's good. That's good. Okay. So that looks good, and everything seems to be working fairly well. The dates fit in. If they're not fitting in, because this is kind of low, all you have to do is just take your cow container and just increase the height on it a little bit. All right, and the last thing I want to do is I want to create a date picker. So this should actually only take like 2 seconds, so this isn't going to be that long. If you're happy with that, you can move on, but we're going to create a date picker real quick. So I'm just going to create this function at the bottom. I'm just going to say get actual, we'll say function, get date from calendar. It's a terrible name, but this is a long video, and after long videos, you make terrible names. We're going to take a date in here. What's wrong? What do you mean? Oh, whoops. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to say document.getElement by ID, and we'll say like we'll say date display. And we haven't created this yet. We're about to create it. We're going to set the inner text to the date from up here. And let's go create this in our HTML real quick. So over down here, we're going to create a p tag. You can create whatever you want. Doesn't have to be a p tag. No, we'll create an h1 so it's real big so we can see it. We'll create an h1. We're going to give it a style of position absolute. Just so, because this container has such a big margin around it that position absolute will ignore the margin. So that's kind of why I'm going to use position absolute there. And top, I'm going to set the top to, we'll set it to 50 pixels, and we'll set the left to 47%. And that should be good. All right, so now we just need to give this function this date. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back up here to our date p tag, and right below this actually. So below date, we're going to say date p tag dot add event listener. Now, if you've never seen add event listener before, it's just basically another way to do something like an on click, like we have up here. But instead of doing on click, you can do pretty much any event but we're going to use click, and you specify that in quotes. You can use single or double quotes, and then you're just going to add an anonymous function, and we're just going to return the function from down below, which is get date from calendar. Get date from calendar, and we are just going to give this date here because we just want to display this date. Okay, so if I go back and I refresh, if I click on it, I should see it. It says document.getElementByID, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you know what? I probably didn't even give that an ID down there. I didn't. I was so worried about the styling. So the ID is, I think I chose it date display. Yep, date display. Let me save that and refresh. All right, now let's see. So there it is. Cool. So when we click on a date, all right, it should be pretty good. So January 2nd, 2020. Let's go like really far in the future and make sure it works. And we'll go to like March or something, April. So it should say April 4th, 2035. Okay, so I feel pretty good about this. I definitely made some mistakes along the way, and it was a little bit tougher than I thought, but I'm pretty happy with it. If you have any recommendations or had any problem with the video, just let me know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Even though it was long, I did have a lot of fun doing it, and it was a good challenge for me. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.